Here.
Okay, it is recording.
Awesome.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm excited today to introduce our new speaker, Neil Twa. Neil is the founder of Voltage and a leading Amazon FBA expert with over 17 years of experience. He's built and scaled multiple businesses and helped thousands of entrepreneurs grow their Amazon ventures. Neil spoke with us a while back, and we've had the chance to meet at several events with Wealth Without Wall Street. So I'm thrilled to have him back today to share his insights on transitioning from active hustles to automated income. Before we begin, could everyone type in a 1 in the chat to confirm that you can hear and see me? Also, I kindly ask everyone to stay on mute during the presentation, but feel free to ask plenty of questions in this chat. We'll address them during the Q&A, and you'll have a chance to come off mute and speak directly with Neil. Thank you very much. Neil, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Kish, and thank you for the introduction. Welcome, everybody. I'm so excited to be here with you today. I will tell you in the preface, this is being recorded, so anything that's covered in detail, I know we're going to give you a recording so you can cover it. I tend to speak a little quickly, so I'll try to make sure I keep my pace and cadence that you guys can keep up with. And if not, that's okay too. I suppose just ask questions and we'll get through the process. Really what I want you to understand today as we get started for the next, probably 30, 40 minutes of this conversation I want to have today with you is about building wealth and automated income using the power of automation systems like Amazon's Fulfilled by Amazon system or FBA system to build a multi-omni-channel e-commerce company that happens to sell on Amazon first and then moves into the greater market in e-commerce of other sales channels and distributions, and then becomes really a business that is a saleable asset. Like real estate here today, for those of you who are into it, you understand the value of real estate, you understand cash on cash value, you understand inventory of homes and the movement of homes, multifamily, etc., short-term rental or whatever particular area of focus you find most interesting. Personally, I skipped the toilets, termites, and tenants, and I went straight to the automation of the business model and the physical products and private label brands that we build. As we do not flip products for profit, we build brands to exit and scale. And we're also in the M&A world, mergers and acquisitions, which we can talk a little bit about as we go. There's some topics I want to cover with you today that'll get you into the kind of the fundamental mindset of what it means to build a virtual real estate play with physical inventory that allows you to resell that inventory as many times as you want, as opposed to having and going and selling one thing, building one thing and developing one thing. We can build an entire brand around millions of product ideas and get them basically to drive into profitability first, growth, scale, and then the opportunity for an exitable business. That's what we want to cover today. So guys, I saw the ones come in, which I appreciate you all giving us some insight and paying attention. I'm going to do my best here to deliver as much as I can with actionable information you can walk away from today from this call and actually use for purposeful reasons of maybe your intent to look at e-commerce as a possible vertical, both actively in your investment and potentially passive, depending upon how you set this up. So guys, that's what I'm going to cover today. If you're all still with me for a second, put a 2 in the channel. I just want to know one more time that we're all still here. I'm going to share a screen. I've got some things to go over today as I cover what's actually in the value of this model from top down. Thanks for the 2s, guys. I see it. I appreciate you connecting with me as we go forward. Please, again, there's nothing to buy here. That's not what this is about. Kish has invited me, and I'm honored to be here to share knowledge and information about the way you can execute a business model with e-commerce. So again, nothing to buy here today, only an invite to take a look at what we're doing, and that'll happen in like the last 5 minutes of this entire conversation. For now, I just want you to pay attention. We're going to go to work, all right? So the first step here is to make sure that just because you're on this session today doesn't mean magical fairies of money are going to sprinkle themselves into your bank account. Things that I'm going to show you, information I'm going to deliver, case studies of my own and my clients are theirs alone, and everything is success regarding their business was their success, and of course our support in helping them through that process. In businesses and brands we own, coach, consult, and operate within the Voltage infrastructure, plus 12 plus years of experience in e-commerce, Amazon FBA and beyond, and 17 years of business behind all of that with systems, softwares, and technologies. All right, so that whole disclaimer aside, let's talk about what this means. These are the things I want to go over today. These are big breaks that all sellers need to make if they're going to get their first million in business of e-commerce, or if they're going to go after their next million in e-commerce business. This is the kind of structure we call our 5x5 framework, and it's a part of what is referred to as our product launch playbook, the building an engine behind an e-commerce empire. So these steps we're going to go through what the heck to actually sell, because many of you have the question in mind about what product to sell, and I'm going to help you refocus, reframe that, and conditionally move you towards the answer to that question today. How to make it profitable, we go by the numbers or the science behind how we 10x profits first in the business and go after it on data, not gut-driven business models. How to choose a niche, what we call don't marry your products. Okay, there are plenty of product opportunities. Do not fall in love with your products, fall in love with your brand. Explain what that means. And then how this is a river of traffic and demand coming for 24/7, 365. It literally never shuts down. It's always available, and it is a river of traffic and sales flowing out there right now. And how do you get in front of it? Okay. And then the final platinum principle we're going to talk about for a few minutes is the key to the kingdom. It is building growth and scale and value so intrinsically into the business that it becomes a very good saleable asset. All right. Everything we're building is asset driven, intellectual property, private label, and inventory we manufacture and keep and control within that IP. And that makes the entire business model something that considers what happens in the end when I'm ready to sell that business on its way up, not because it's crashing on its way down. Very important we understand the differences. So some quick history on the market, in case you're not aware. If you're just buying in e-commerce, you may not be aware as a consumer and a buyer from things on e-commerce channels, like maybe you got something on TikTok Shop recently, maybe you just ordered something on Amazon, or you've bought something off a Facebook ad. The problem to be solved is that 21.6 trillion in global retail sales are coming online in the next 5 to 7 years. And people are going to miss out on this wealth transfer. You might be on the side of the consumerism. I want you to think about it as a business opportunity to not miss this wave, because it is the third generation of the internet, compiled with e-commerce, digital commerce itself, physical products, and AI. The transition is moving extremely fast. So one way or another, we're all going to be affected by it. Sales are moving at quite a great pace in terms of global sales and US e-commerce sales itself. As you can see, the trend is continuing to grow very greatly. So if you wonder if this is a market that can move through saturation in the market itself, different products and platforms and opportunity that's changing e-commerce and has continued to evolve it. And just the market segment itself of the industry of e-commerce and physical private label products in relationship to other industries like real estate and oil and gas or anything else. And one thing you should know is e-commerce is one of the only double-digit growths occurring, and it had the largest hyper growth of any vertical during the first 3 months of 2020. Can you imagine why? That created 10 years of growth in 3 months. So the adoption curve for e-commerce then widened so greatly that it's becoming now a mass opportunity. And in mass, by the year 2040, the Department of Commerce has predicted, along with Forrester Research and Bank of America, that 95% of shopping will be facilitated by e-commerce. So this is about to flop. It's a flipper flopper, okay? It's an opportunity to get behind this, meaning that we're going to switch from majority retail done in one channel, offline and in normal retails, to that actually becoming a majority of sales coming through an online mechanism, okay? That is gonna shift pretty greatly and pretty fast. So it leads us into the question, what the heck do I actually sell? So here's what I want you to understand about what we sell in the marketplace. We sell data to an AI engine. Okay, the AI engine has a logistics and freight management system behind it called Fulfilled by Amazon. It's a done-for-you management, delivery, and last mile delivery to the customer that Amazon handles in terms of the product and logistics. In fact, it's a second company that Amazon bought way back in the day when they started delivering books. They went out and purchased a logistics company and rebranded it as FBA, or Fulfilled by Amazon. It is now the 6th largest logistics company in the world. Planes, trains, and automobiles being shipped by them continuously. That has allowed them to grow at exponential rates of growth. And they are, as again, the 6th largest industry of moving transport and logistics of physical products. That has opened up huge amounts of opportunity for growth, now making them 5% of all retail sales and 49% of all online sales. They are the largest beast online. So to identify what the heck to sell, we actually need to look at them and just say, what is it that is selling on the platform? Identify products that already sell and make them better. There's this little thing called bestseller rank. So if you've ever looked at the desktop or your mobile phone, there's this little thing right here. You may not really understand what it means as a consumer, but as a business person, what this tells me is that the market for this product is in demand. Out of all of the millions of products, this one is ranked 38,000 in bestseller rank. It's number 5 in this example as boat fenders, because that's what it actually is. It's a boat fender product, meaning that out of all the boat fenders, this is number 5. So the closer you get to 1, the more sales volume you make. What is the sales volume possibility on Amazon? Some products are doing 3,000 to 6,000 units a day. That's to some of the volume scale Amazon. Overarching, Amazon does about 8,600 units a minute. It is an amazing juggernaut that is, frankly, it's just a miracle that anything works. So in other words, we need to make a product and we need to sell it. We grab a product understanding that's in demand. We make a product to compete in the market, and we sell a product. The 3 things of product, okay? We need to understand that those are physical products that we have, that we control, and that we own. We're not flipping someone else's products. This is not eBay or Facebook Marketplace. Let's just be very clear. We are using a channel, a mechanism, leveraging a brand authority called Amazon to launch a brand ourselves that no one's ever heard of. When people hear me say this, a lot of times they're going, well, what the heck am I actually going to sell? You're still caught in the product idea. Product's important, but it's actually number 2 most important thing we consider. The first thing is, of the billion products, which ones are the most viable and the most profitable that I should actually sell, and work the numbers in reverse. Why? Because people will say it's too much competition, which means they don't actually understand the market. And people will say it's too much saturation, which tells me they don't understand the market. They'll say, I don't know how to discover good products. Products can be discovered through the data, okay? And the data and conditioning of the data will appear in front of you as you learn and take execution towards knowledge, which will help you understand what's going on. And all the good products are already taken, which is not true at all. We launch products all the time that go and generate tons of sales from existing product data that we go out and compete directly in the market. So yet, there are all these thousands and actually millions of sellers making millions of dollars a year on Amazon, so why not you? It comes down to understanding conditioning. You have not been conditioned yet to understand how to take advantage of the things I just told you. So let's understand how to go after that right now, all right? It comes down to understanding the team involved in making these businesses work. And the solution to the team is understanding the time, energy, attention, and money that is available, capable, and that you could go get and deploy in the correct way to return the business, or return the model to get a return on your investment, and to also understand what the customer wants to buy and then sell it to them. Okay? It's not terribly complex. It really isn't. People want to overcomplicate this and make it harder than it actually is. Here is one way you can start this process right now by writing down product ideas, maybe even things that you've already bought on Amazon in the last 90 days, and look at why you bought them, okay? Now, do you do all the buying, Kish, in your family on Amazon, or have you bought much, or does your wife and family do all the buying?
It's my wife, 99%.
So we call that circle of confidence, and forgive me, I'm in the Midwest, out in the country. We have about 50 acres out here in the country, and there's a lot of ragweed and junks at this time of year. My allergies are flowing, so if I'm coughing and sneezing, forgive me. But there's hobbies, local, there's work, there's your spouse, there's school activities, what we call the circle of confidence, in which products are already moving all over the place, right in front of you, being delivered to your house. You just haven't stepped into the frame of mind that says, wow, could I sell one of those? Is there daily profits for me in those products? And I always encourage people, and I will have my people spend 21 days developing a list of 500 of those product ideas from their circle of confidence. And at first you may think that's impossible, but as you just start writing down every product you've seen, touched, or products that are gear, accessory, or related to products that you just purchased, or for some activity, some event, some traveling, something you did with your kids, something you're going to do. Okay, you might want to run faster, jump higher, lose weight, gain weight. There are products in each of those segments that are probably sitting right in front of you that you can turn into daily profits. We just have to refocus your brain. Let's keep going with that process. Refocusing your brain would be looking at this picture and seeing what about this picture. Okay, what do we see about this picture? And guys, you're more than welcome. I'm sort of monitoring the chat in the background as much as I can, so I'll try to answer questions and pay attention to that as we go along. Wherever my chat window just went to, it disappeared. Okay, so that you all can look at this. So what are we seeing? As we look into this. Are we seeing people? Absolutely. Are we seeing products? I certainly hope you are, because that's the first thing we're here to condition. What kind of products do we see? Right? We see chairs, tables, shoes, clothing, hats, gear, accessories, water bottles. We see all kinds of things that what? People buy. It's all around us. We just have to start looking at it and seeing it in a different way. What do we see here in this picture? We see ladies who are cooking, right? We see ladies in product that are right in front of you that are going to be used in a setting of the kitchen and home, that are being purchased and utilized, something you could sell, something that you see an emotional connectivity, a specific kind of pot, a specific type of product that you want. Well, KitchenAid is better than Cuisinart. In your mind, it might be, and others, they might have a reverse thought process, but you do, and you understand what's around you, even down to the golf bros, okay? And yes, this is an AI generated image, in case you're wondering, and yes, those literally look all like the same guy, even though they're in different shirts and shorts, if you pay a little close attention to that. So these are my golf bros, right? All decked out, and they're like, $1,000 worth of attire. And I'm sure they've got all the golf clubs and everything else, and they had to buy all that. If they had to buy it all, guess what? Someone had to sell it to them. Why not you? It's conditioning to your environment to realize that all the gear and accessories for every hobby, every event, everything you've ever done, you've purchased from someone. And in Amazon's own admission, okay, if you got it from Amazon, 60% of all the products they sell come from third-party sellers like us. You may not have realized when you went in and hit add to cart, you were actually buying a product from us or one of our clients. You may not have realized that. But here's the thing, once you realize that, you can unlock the understanding that it is possible for you to also do that. And any of this gear or accessory that is profitable, which is going to be topic 2 in a second, going by the numbers, is something you can see. And something you can sell. So what is it that we're after? We want to train our brain to start seeing what we miss. We call it white car syndrome, okay? That is identifying a car. Have you ever seen this, Kish, where you go down and you look and you see a car or you see a shirt or you see someone else who's got a shirt or maybe a car that's like yours, and you're like, oh, I didn't see that before. I didn't notice it. And then in the next 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 2 days, all of a sudden you start seeing more of those cars. Like every time you turn around, there's the same car in a different location or a different shirt or another person. And you're like, hey, that's the same thing I have, but yet there it is. Do you think the world is magically driving these cars into your vision point? Do you think that this product is magically like coming to you? Again, are the fairies just sprinkling car dust over you? Or what's actually happening? Any ideas? There's a psychological thing that's occurring here, right?
You're more observant.
Your subconscious is observing it, even if your conscious is not aware of it. Subconsciously, your brain is now training and conditioning in the background and bringing into conscious thought things that are all around you, so you start seeing them when you started missing them before. As you get conditioned to look for products and opportunities, you'll have a new problem, all right? So many products everywhere. You're going to start wondering, could I sell every one of them? And the answer is, there's a possibility that this will happen as more and more products for everyday life, every trip you take down to Target or other place, start appearing in front of you, and you stop thinking, could I buy this and what would I use it for? And you start thinking, why am I buying this and who would use it? And as you start changing those questions, you start seeing certain parallels of patterns that start appearing like data on a number sheet. You start seeing these things appear. And in this case, as we look through these couple of pictures and onto this picture, we see a pattern of what occurring? Anybody catch the pattern between those? They were all riding bikes, clearly. Notice anything else?
Baskets.
There's a basket. Okay. So this basket, roughly, based on its current qualifications, I'm going to say, it's a not terribly strong appearance. It has little, I don't even sure if that's leather. It looks like it wasn't very well made. It's probably about a $1990 product, $19.99. It's what we would refer to as white label. All right. So what's the difference between the quality of a white label and say a private label product, something I've engineered, created, something that I have the goal of establishing a brand and an emotional response, because I not only see it in my entire environment, we may have bought one and used it and have a specific value. I can look at that and say, well, I wouldn't put my dog in there, and I'm not sure how many groceries that would cover, but I'm going to get the value of basically what I'm going to get for $19.99. Now, what happens when we actually change that product and innovate it just a little bit? What happens? Okay. The value and the perception of value, the emotional connectivity, the solution I was going for, all of it elevates. Now, all of you understand this in terms of if you were to stop and think about your technology, your car, the kind of shoes you buy, and other things that you're brand driven on, you know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to being driven by the value of certain product types that you might buy for $19 at Walmart, but you have to go down to a specialty store. You're going to pay $69 or $99 for a similar kind of product, but you know the quality, the value, and the brand differentiation are what you're going to buy into because of the outcome, the emotion, and the problem that is going to be solved, okay, or the opportunity that's going to be created when you buy that product. And that increases the value of the product. And also, what do we see on this product? It was built better. Clearly, it's stronger. The buckles and the leather on it certainly look a lot stronger. Oh no, what does that say actually on the tag right there, Kish?
Says Nantucket Bike Basket Company.
Nantucket Bike Basket Company. We've branded an emotional connectivity. Can you imagine this being on a bike going through the fall in Nantucket with a lady on her bike? Suddenly it changes the value of the perception. It's not just a simple, junker bike being ridden with a basic thing. It changes dramatically. And one of the major things that changed was the brand. Okay. So as we brand it, we create it, we build intellectual property, trademarks, maybe even we can get a notice of allowance for a design patent on it at some point to harden the value of the product once we prove it can sell. The entire valuation of it changes, right? So as you take these ideas, okay, not just bike baskets, but the other products you should be thinking about right now, and if you don't think about it right now, that's okay. If you do think about it, put it on a list, write it down. We call it your more list of products you can think of, or excuse me, the most list of products you can think of. And just put everything you can think of on a list. If you need to go to your Amazon order history and look at the last 90 and 180 days and just put all the things you think you could put on there, but ask yourself the question of why did I put it on there? What value was I seeing in that? Anything goes on that list right now. Anything goes on that list right now because now you're conditioning yourself to start thinking about products and less about the consumerism of the product, but intentionally thinking about first level analysis. Why did I buy that product? What was the intent? What was the outcome I was going for? The second big break in that process of conditioning yourself is to go by the numbers, or we call the science of 10xing the profit. Profitability above all other things in your product matters. Profitability of the product is going to pay you, pay others, and allow the business to grow through marketing and additional inventory and growth. You're not running it by gut feel because you're going to know what the numbers are, and you've now been able to weed down certain product types that won't match certain profitability criteria that takes one product into 5 products into 10 products and builds a portfolio or a brand around a product, not a single product, but a portfolio of products that relevantly dive into a supportive niche of people, say women who want bike baskets that want them on their bike. That is a very specific thing we're going to present, and we're going to present like 10 different options for them, right? We're going to give them good options. So when we ask what the real question is around the numbers, we're going to find out, what are those numbers? And any way you look at it, we need to go by the numbers. So on your more list, what you're going to have done is taken a whole list of product ideas and ask yourself more questions. Is there more profit? Is there more people I can think of? Is there more appeal? Is there more trending? Is there more variations or types of that product that I consider in the market? If you have a rough idea of profitability, okay, so let's just go back to this example at $19.99 versus $49.99. Do you think one has more profit than the other? It should be kind of intrinsic knowledge, right? We should know with common sense logic that the $49 one has more profit than the $19 one, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what I don't care about at this moment, and what some people get locked into, is the idea that I would move more units at $19.99 than I would move at $49.99. So why would I do that? Because the numbers tell me it's more profitable even if I move less units. Okay, without the cost, overhead, and maintenance of more inventory, I actually make more profit. Now, that doesn't add up in your head, but you got to get into the numbers to understand how that actually looks. It's also a scarcity mindset, thinking that I wouldn't be able to find more of those products when in actuality there are plenty of them. And you could make up volume of sales across more products versus one product that becomes the entire business. We call it a one-hit wonder. You don't want a one-hit wonder in any business model, okay? As we pencil those in, we'll run a full analysis on the finances. We'll pencil it in. We're going to ignore other factors for now that you may be thinking of or considering. All we want to do is get accurate numbers. We want to get complete numbers. We really want to get down to what is the bottom line profitability? What is the net profit I actually get to keep at the bottom of the net when all the gross stuff comes in the top and then filters out the bottom of the net. That's what I actually get to keep, the money that goes into my account, the money that helps build the business. So as we set aside these most to more ideas by simply looking at it and saying, well, that's a $19 product and there's a $49 version, so I'm going to add the $49 version to my more list, right? I don't want to be too attached to any product idea. I don't want to try to force any numbers to work. I want to see them separate generally into two directions. The more I dig into the product, the better it looks. The more I dig in, the worse it looks. So stop working on products that don't meet your needs. So this is a process of conditioning your product research through the process of understanding how to compile it. Once you do, you should track it because you can't measure what you can't track. So we compile a spreadsheet like this, okay, called a profitability or a more profitability template. And in this profitability template, you get the opportunity to then pull the data together into a visible spectrum, a place where I can kind of have a dashboard of information. And oh, by the way, I can see every different cost structure associated with selling a single unit of this product. I'm going to go by the numbers. I'm not going to guess. As I go by the numbers, I will really actually understand how the profitability will work. In this spreadsheet, we have what we call a green light process. Okay, green light for you should be like this. If it don't go, move to the next product. Why? Because we're just looking at product data. I just haven't talked about the product so much just yet. I'm really wanting to focus on the product data set. Okay, remember, because we're selling data to an AI engine and it's selling and delivering products to the customers. So we really want to understand what our role is. Okay, so in our role, we want to gather that data, we want to pull it together. All right, when you do this kind of data gathering, all right, this actually gives you the numbers to actually determine where to spend your money, time, energy, and attention. It's very important. If you guys don't want to do the product research and you want to get it together 10 times faster, we have a tool set we built to go through this conditional analysis process called ASIN Finder. It's a part of our proprietary system that goes in and pulls this data, and in a single click, you can add a profitable product into the database, and you can skip all the data gathering. It has analytics tools, it has assumptions of data based on the process I'm defining for you right now, and simply gets you the opportunity to move very quickly to determine whether or not a product is green. If the data set for a product is green, then there are a couple of other steps we take from competition and validation of the market to determine the demand for that product. But once it's green, we have a like 60% confidence that we should and could sell a unit of that product profitably. That's step one of the analysis, and it's a detailed analysis. Now, I'm not going to give you the spreadsheet. I'm not going to force you to go get one of your own and enter the data, but I am going to give you a free tool as just a bonus for showing up today. If you want to get this tool for free to go out and do some initial product research, I'll drop this in the link, and then we'll of course post this out, Kish, later. But you go in there and you get a free trial of the Greenlight tool I just showed you called ASIN Finder. It's one of a multi-stack tool. You'll have one access to start off with for free for the ASIN Finder. So I will drop that in here, and that will give you guys the ability to capture data even faster, click searches, and add product data as you do your product research. Okay. It's very important to understand that the value of this process cannot be understated in the learning and condition and execution stage of what we call learning and earning. Now, in the process of learning and earning and actually executing this process, that is where you actually build your knowledge. Knowledge begets the execution stage. Wisdom comes after that. Wisdom to do better and know more. You can't just jump from, nothing to straight up wisdom. That's not how it works. So the process of doing this correctly and learning it correctly could be the outcome of some of these case studies like Eric and Les. Eric and Les had no experience. They came in and did the process. Eric had a bit of a stumbling block due to a death in his family, and so we stepped in to kind of help him out and push him through to the rest of the story. It basically said it's been instrumental in growing. He did the same conditional process I'm showing you right now, discovered the products. We helped him identify which particular product set to go after. They launched 4 of those and ran past, 4,500 in sales in a day right here from this year, May 31st, 2024 through June 15. And in 2 months, they actually sold over 150,000 of that product. They did 25,000 on Prime Day, which was July 15th. And that has set them up to scale this into a $3 million a year business. We've got 2,000 more units coming in. That'll be there for the holidays. We are on pace to do 3 million by the end of 2025, and that product was launched in May 31st, 2024, just to give you some scope for their case study. It's extremely profitable. It's a $180 product. Okay, just to give your brain some understanding, it's a $180 product. So as this continues to scale forward, they have the opportunity to build a $5 to $10 million business. So as they've done the time, energy, and attention, the money deployed to this business will be on advertising and inventory, because they did all the work up front to conditionally find the product, train the product, use the green light process, determine which product and profitability and competition had the greatest upside potential, and then we market tested this product and watched it actually go like crazy. Once the product went good, we launched a bunch more units. Once those units actually fulfilled the outcome, it actually grew extremely fast. But it wasn't the first product they actually tested. That product didn't do so well, but they did something that I want you to understand. They did not marry their products, okay? The first products did not do as well as the products that I just showed you on that case study. If they had simply stopped with the first products and married the process, then they would have been stuck missing the opportunity, okay? So as they pivoted and we moved towards different product types in the same brand, just different product types in the same brand, because they didn't marry their products, they were willing to do this, these products took off extremely fast. They got a better understanding of what to sell. They tested the market. After the market test, they discovered it wasn't selling as great as possible. So that was their risk in this business. At first was to determine, could it sell? Can sales fixes everything? Is there ability for us to sell? The first one didn't sell terribly well, but the second product series took off, like you saw, very, very fast. So we say, don't marry your product, steal someone else's girlfriend instead. Don't steal their neighbor's packages though. Okay, we're not talking about going to someone's house and stealing packages. What I want you to understand is that there are big markets in here for product opportunities where you can take a little piece of the big pie and get big results, like you just saw that Eric and Les got. So as we take this piece of the pie, we're operating in very large search and very large businesses in that area that they're competing with, but we're going in and taking over market share. We're making a better data set with a better product, but we're still eating from the same pie. So again, the difference is, guys, between white label and private label, and what Eric did and what I showed you a minute ago with the basket, you need to grasp this because many people don't understand it, and it's very important. We're creating private label products. The difference is customization. As we make something better, we make something unique, we get a little bit creative, not a whole lot of R&D, not 5 years of R&D, okay? And we unleash a brand. Now, how could that work? Here's the actual case study for products we had. I was up one night, third child out of 4, was not sleeping very good. I had 4 kids in 4.5 years. I love it. Don't always recommend it, but hey, I love kids. And so we went for kids, and 4 and 4.5 years is what we got. All daughters, by the way. So I was up feeding the third one really late at night. Infomercial comes on. I see this product called Seat Pets. Okay, super cool. I think about initially buying one for my daughter, because that's what you do when you're buying products, kids, and you're up late at night. And then I realized, I wonder if I could sell one of these. So I asked the right question at that moment. Even in the process of still conditioning myself, I'm like, I need to find out if I can sell one of these. Talked to Reed, my business partner, said, hey, I think we could sell one of these. They're doing an infomercial, which means they're really pushing this market. There's definitely demand for this market. Let's see how they're doing on Amazon. We did some quick research and discovered they actually weren't doing very well on Amazon, but they were doing a lot of marketing, okay? A lot of marketing for this product. So we introduced a product called Belt Buddies. We took a small innovation of the product, okay? 3 things we changed. We made them a little bigger. We made them look a little bit more anime, a little in a character, just a slight change of the eyes and face. And we made the pockets a little bit better. So they're a little stronger. They look a little different. The pockets were a little bit bigger. We simply went to the market, looked at the market, and said, hey, these are the things we don't like. And we said, hey, these are the things we just fixed. We even took pictures of it with the little girl. These are just iPhone pictures that were taken in a car with the girls to show scope and in use, so people could actually see the product themselves. They could see how they connected. We did one with a boy, so you could just see the scope and size and the difference of the product. Because it is a demand capture platform that we start out with on our first channel, Amazon FBA, first channel, they sold like crazy. We captured the demand that was already coming to Amazon from all this off Amazon marketing that was occurring. They had their listings and products on Amazon. They just weren't doing a very good job, okay? So we captured it. We sold 2,000 units in an 8-week period with no ads, no marketing, and 100% organic sales. We went out and ordered another 2,000, and that kept going, and another 2,000, okay? So that business grew very quickly. We ended up selling it later on. The key reason this works that I want you to understand, number one, sales fixes everything. Amazon is a sales demand machine. Okay, it is crazy movement of products so fast. If you imperfectly execute this, good things will happen along the way. Okay, we foobarred some things and funneled some things up, but even if you imperfectly execute this, you can earn money and learn how to do this at the same time. Very important you understand that. The other reason it worked is because we did a quick market test before we do what we call a full launch. Meaning we're going to test the market and validate the market, again, not marrying our products until we launch a lot more. As we innovate, we do not invent. I had a guy come in the other day. He's like, I've spent 6 years inventing this product. And I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, you should have been selling this like 5 years ago. Because he waited too long to think that it had to be unique. He had the, Iowa, if you build it, they will come kind of mentality. And that's the wrong way to think about this. We can sell listings to this engine. We know the market is smarter, so we want it to teach us. We need to understand the similarity and familiarity of products already in the market equal trust. That includes Amazon's platform as we leverage it, okay? Differentiation creates value, improvements create added value. Pretty simple concept, right? So don't marry your products. Make it almost unique, somewhat better, and a little bit creative, and then we unleash a brand. And so a quick word again, Amazon is a done-for-you automation system. We don't ship these products from our homes. We don't ship them from our garages. We don't have 40-foot containers of products sitting at our house. This all gets shipped directly to Amazon's automation systems, okay? So the beautiful thing about this is it, from an active, can become an almost automated income where Amazon sells the products while you're sleeping. So once I do the market and the valuation and conditioning and the 80% of the work to find the demand, the profitability, get the numbers right, and produce the product, Amazon does all the selling for me all the time, which again means this does not need to be my house. I know a lot of people think that's how you do this, but this is not how you do this. I can run this on 40 acres in the country off Starlink or go on a trip with my family, and my business continues to run no matter where I'm at. That is extremely powerful, especially for a guy who used to travel 200 days a year from IBM on planes all over the place, and that really sucks, okay? So the fourth big break is understanding that this is a river. It's a channel of traffic moving extremely fast, okay? When we float the Amazon, we need to understand where that river is going. We need to understand, in simple terms, a little bit about how this giant digital filing cabinet works of information that's moving at the speed of transactions, which are going very, very, very fast. We need to understand Amazon's economic engine behind the scenes, what it wants, what it's doing, the difference between gross profit and net profit, what we actually keep in these businesses, is something that actually rewards the engine. If you think Amazon doesn't know what the cost of your product is, you're kind of naive or maybe just ignorant, and I'm going to update you real quick so you're super smart, and the answer is yes. Amazon knows the cost of goods of products on its system. What does that mean? It means that its economic engine, if I am helping to make them more money by selling products at higher profitability, okay, then Amazon's making more money. The engine is going to prefer me over other brands when that occurs. Make sure you hear what I said, okay? When they're making more money, I'm making more money, okay? When I'm making more money, they're pushing us out more so that more people want to capture that demand because we're both making money. It's a symbiotic relationship, and it's an engine that is extremely powerful. And by profit, let's be very clear, on the products we sell, they do not have less than $12 in profit per unit. Typically, $36, $48 or more in profit per unit. That would translate backwards to products that have 30 to 70% gross margins on them, which means the net profit percentage is going to be closer to 20 to 30% per each unit sold. It's very important we understand every unit is profitable. Every product would be profitable. Every product in the portfolio would be profitable. Therefore, the business is profitable. At the business level, when the engine is working great in our seller account and they see that we're profitable across all of our ASINs and we're doing 15 to 30% net profit, these are big numbers. Guys, this is a lot of data I'm throwing at you. I told you you'd have to go back and slow this down and watch it later, okay? But when you get down to 18 to 30% triple net on your business, you are not only profiting really well, but Amazon knows how well you're doing on that channel, and they're going to want to reward you and push you out faster into more segments of Amazon, which simply means more demand will be captured by your brand. That is scale, and I'll talk about what that means in a minute. So, hyper-relevant brand, hyper-relevant product, hyper-relevant marketing through Amazon's own internal system called Sponsored Ads and Sponsored Brands, which is referred to as PPC or pay-per-click marketing. We do that inside of Amazon's economic engine. When we launch multiple products into one area, it's called a node in Amazon's big filing system. It's borrowed in a number of ways technically from different locations. It's basically a section in a database called a node. But when we're competing in that node and we're relevant to that node, if we are selling a relevant product and a relevant brand and a relevant node, we can get page one domination for this product. What does that mean? It means there's a page one for every search phrase possible for our product. There are hundreds of millions of these page ones, and the more page ones we are on, the more money we're going to make. I'll show you what that means in terms of numbers in a couple of my case studies in just a minute. But of course, if you understand very simply, organic traffic is a full price profitable sale for us, and PPC we have to pay for, then the more organic we have, the more money the business makes. So all of our clients are pushing for more organic with then PPC marketing to help it go farther and bigger. That's a pretty simple way of saying that. In other words, there is growth in scale when you follow Amazon's system correctly. So not only are we looking for growth and scale in our business, we're actually looking to meet the metrics of the system so it will reward us with growth and scale, which means in 12, 24, and 36 months, these businesses can mature extremely fast, okay? By extremely fast, I mean you can go from selling 5 to 10 units a day to selling 2 to 3 to 500 units or more a day, okay? And with that business profitability, it grows extremely fast. If you do it wrong, if you don't do the work I'm telling you about, you will fall victim to what your fears might be about this business model. You'll make no sales and it will be a flop. And this could be you after 12 months of working in the business if it's not done correctly. This is actually a really large company, 30 million a year in their direct-to-consumer side. They came to Amazon. They had no idea how to sell on Amazon correctly. We helped them optimize their sales. And in 30 days, they went to 7,800 sales. They went to 15,000 sales. They went to 56,000 sales in 60 days. And that's per a month, to be very clear. And we had them over 100,000 in sales within 6 months. So that business took off extremely fast. Guys, if you wondered if you can do this on the side, if you can start it, just do not think about it as a side hustle or a hobby business. If you get into e-commerce, treat it like a professional business model. Treat it like you would do this for the rest of your life, not just because you want to add on a few dollars every month. Adam understood that concept. He took it to heart and he executed it. He's a full-time pharmacist, okay? He's got 2 kids, a wife. He's extremely busy. But he has learned very quickly how much money he can make in this business as his first test product launch went over 52,000 in sales. He is now regrouped, restructuring the way he's attacking the market in his full product launch, has ordered a lot more product, and is well on his way to a 7-figure brand. He got it and he executed it, and his path to his exit, his happy birthday retirement date, is coming up soon. So Alex did the same thing, but guys, she's a stay-at-home mom. She's not the full-time working pharmacist like Adam is. She did this all from home while having 2 toddlers she's chasing around the house. So if anybody thinks you can't do this for whatever framework you're thinking in your brain, then she kind of breaks the mold, and so does Adam, because she actually did this and has scaled a business now and has a $180 product, 30% margins on her product. They went after a full container of the product. Her goal right here is to go to 8 figures, make it or break. And she's on the path to do that. She's already launched, validated, and now she's going into growth. Super successful. David is a case study I just did on my podcast, the High Voltage Business Builders Podcast, High Voltage Business Builders Podcast. Go check it out. He has $500,000 a month in sales that are 90% organic. He started with 30,000 a month when he came to us from another program and a system, and we got him to ramp up this process. He went to 100,000 a month 6 months after working with us. The growth and scale of these systems is tremendous when you do the upfront work. I'll send all this out to you guys. I'm not going to read all these, but you guys will have this information later on to go through. Daniel has gone in the last 4 years with us, going from zero. He had a degree in golf course management and did a bit of theology type of work as well. Had never ran an e-commerce business before in his life. Fast forward 4 years later, got to meet him actually for the first time in Nashville, Tennessee 3 weeks ago. Hadn't met him in 4 years, but I met him for the first time. He is now at 16 million a year in sales on his brand on Amazon and is opening up multiple channels of distribution. He is going for a big life generational exit as he opens up the additional channels, and he's only into year 4. He will be at 16 million in sales by the end of this year. He took all of those concepts to heart, actually executed it and followed the steps. There's no reason why anyone else on this call couldn't do the same thing if they apply themselves. When they understand the application of all of that time, energy, and attention and money, then they need to understand the final topic here, guys, for you today is that this is the life-changing opportunity. When you build those business assets, they are saleable. They are sellable with potential generational wealth behind them. When you plow the money back in for year 1, 2, 3, and 4, especially in the first year, so profits come faster in year 2 and year 3, and you pay yourself back faster. More automation will allow you to step back from the time and energy. And most people don't understand that this is a topic that can lead to generational wealth. When you build it right from the beginning with the end in mind, you structure this as a real business. You dot the I's and cross the T's from the very beginning, because this is not an Amazon-only FBA business model. You should not treat it that way, because an FBA is not a business. In my mind, it is a single sales channel. And it is a way to understand the growth and opportunities of growth with this business that goes beyond a single channel. When you do this correctly, there are many people who want to buy these, including me. Voltage is in acquisitions mode. We are looking to buy 5 companies that will do between 3 and 5 million in EBITDA a year. That's generating between 10 and 18 million a year in revenues. And we're looking to acquire 5 of those by the end of 2025. We have 2 on deck right now that we're looking to go after. So when I say these building with the end in mind, Voltage is building and growing and launching and exiting and actually acquiring them. So we go from end to end. So if you do this right, there are people who want to buy these companies like crazy. So if we launch the business correctly, if we put our intellectual property and time into it, not just flipping products, but building a real business, if we create the value of an LLC and formation for both wealth creation and wealth management, as well as wealth preservation, okay, all 3 of these things, then we treat this like a real business, not a side hustle or a hobby business. Very important. Most sellers do not understand that, but you guys should not miss that from today's call. You should not miss that as the opportunity, because it is where the real money is going to be made. A quick word about the exit, guys. Make it a planned exit. Sell it, transfer it, make it an inheritance. Don't necessarily wind it down if you don't have to. Try not to go in any unplanned exit if at all possible. Try not to die or be incapacitated. Try not to go, in divorce or personal crisis, or even have, failures in other businesses or personal bankruptcy. In other words, don't sell a business on the way down. Do your best to sell your business on the way up. Exit on your own terms. In other words, don't get caught unaware of consequences of your business setup. If you plan it from the beginning with the end in mind, it's worth so much more, okay? So a quick word on the playbook and the numbers I mentioned earlier. Let's just go over this again as far as what our product launch playbook criteria look for. As you're going in and doing your research and maybe grabbing that trial, this is what you should be looking for. A launch of 5 test products, each selling an average of 5 units a day, okay? If each product nets $12 in profit, then we are looking at a base of 12 in profit per sold, which means 25 sales a day, 760 a month. It's around 109,500 a year. That is before, okay, and that's profit, not revenues, 2 Prime Days and a holiday period. When you add those on, our goal, okay, after 12 to 18 months of business is a minimum of 150,000 in net profits. It's a minimum, okay? That gives us the time, energy, and attention of the team work, including the money input and output, to understand what it takes to build one of these businesses. So how does that translate into the business deployment of capital towards products I'm going to sell and grow? In our world, people should not deploy a minimum of less than 25,000 to the business. When you get to the 25,000 in base case business model, this is where the product launch playbook stacks up. Okay, we're shooting for that 109.5 to be the base, 150 to be the realized net income after deploying that capital into the business. Now, we will have to deploy more capital for more growth, because it is a capitalized inventory-based business, which does flow similar to real estate in terms of having to capitalize. However, the economies of scale and the manpower for real estate is very different than e-commerce. I can run those 7 and 8 figure companies on no employees and a couple of virtual assistants. Okay, 2 to 3 virtual assistants will run a 7 and multi-7, 4 and 5 up to 6, depending upon which roles, will run an 8-figure business, okay, without any employees. If I want to make more money, then I obviously am going to deploy more money faster to the business when the business requires and says, hey, you got a product that's moving great, your brand is going good, we need to capitalize the marketing, you must capitalize the inventory for growth. Then you can see it deploy much faster and faster. You do that more in the first 12 months of business, and by 24 and 36 months, it will mature 10 times faster. That is not just my metric. That is a metric of Amazon's own system, okay? By Amazon's own system, products launched this year will get up to 5% of all of their retail sales. That translates to 20% in year 2 and 40% in year 3, meaning by 1, 2, and 3 years as a brand matures and your products mature, you will grow exponentially faster, which aligns exactly with Daniel Espy's case study. It will align with Adam's upcoming case study. It's aligned with Matt Harward and all the other case studies that I've shown you. And by the way, we have a saying at Voltage, friends don't let friends sell sub $20 products on Amazon. Call it the mosh pit, okay? So I shared a lot of information with you guys. As you stack the value into these businesses, I really need you to understand that corporate suitors, private equity, and individual investors want to buy these companies. They're demanding. They want money is moving outside, a wealth without Wall Street, if you will, and it is moving into locations of business buying and deploying into products and other business models. Of course, Voltage also is interested in doing that as well. So guys, the formulation of that is to understand our platinum principle as the overarching component of the big breaks that I spoiled out today. And that is your exit strategy is your business strategy. And I consider that to be one of the greatest secrets of all. So guys, this could be the end. I know I went a little fast and a little over on my time, I think, Kish. I'm sorry about that. This doesn't have to be the end if I could spend 2 more minutes. I did not explain a lot about what Voltage did to some degree. If you guys would give me the opportunity to do that, it is your choice. If that's okay with you, Kish, we still have a few extra minutes.
Absolutely, go for it.
Okay, guys, it's up to you. If you don't want to stay on and listen to this, that's fine. If you do want to listen, just give a 3 in the comments. I'm just going to share a little bit more about what we do. As I mentioned at the very beginning, I would do that for about 5 minutes if you want, which is awesome. Appreciate the 3s that are coming in to give me a few minutes to just explain more about Voltage, okay? So guys, we are an incubator, which means we launch, grow, scale, operate, acquire, and of course, exit brands with an omni-channel focus. That's Amazon, FBA, retail, and direct consumer marketing channels. We build, coach, and mentor operators, what we call CEO operators who have no brands. We teach them, like Daniel Espy, how to go through, understand, condition, train, test, launch, and then grow and scale brands. And we will do it through multiple channels, even through infomercials, television, radio, and other online things like influencer marketing and whatnot, to move that out even farther. As a growth agency and consultant agency, we do that on a limited basis with our clients. We do it on one-on-one support. We do it for 12 months. We engage both operations teams, coaches, okay? I don't have employees, but I have trained CEO operators who became coaches. They're actually running 6, 7, and multi-7-figure brands of their own in their own business, and then they consult alongside of us, okay? So when we do it that way, they understand our processes, the way they became successful, and then they're able to translate that exact process back to our clients, giving them opportunities like Adam and Daniel and David and Katie and Eva, how to go out and do this the right way. So guys, what if we were to work with you, all right, save you 100 hours of product research using our software to go in and find products to show you, condition, and actually present those products as a part of the system, work with you one-on-one, help you vet the products to ensure you only chose the best ones, give you my software, my entire software package, okay, which is behind an NDA for free, helps you go with the manufacturing and sourcing. How do I get the product? We'll show you exactly how to do it. We'll even give you trained on feet on the street, we call them sourcing agents, who can do the product and sourcing for you in other locations, trusted vendors and suppliers, all the marketing collateral and information systems and methodologies to do the marketing the right way, which is a lot on Amazon, one channel, walked you through the steps on how to do it correctly so you could become your own Daniel or Katie or David, and did it under a consulting plus skin in the performance game where I put a $10,000 bet on the table that we'll reach 100K in net profits with your business, or I forfeit that $10,000 bet, or keep working with you until we do it. If you have any interest in learning a little bit more about how that offer might work, then guys, just text me the keyword interested to this number on the screen right now, 417-695-5479. It is a qualification process. I am looking for tenacious go-getters who understand time, energy, attention, and money, and an active investment can be turned into a passive, nearly automated income, okay? And for those of you who might be out of the country, which is a good possibility, let me just give you my email. I should have thought of that before, forgive me. Neil@voltagedm.com. If you're not in the US or Canada, or texting is a little more difficult, then go ahead and email me interested as well. Just mention Kish in it. The goal here is for me to look for folks, and I do search for 5 to 7 people a month who I think are qualified. Be very clear. I am the qualification process. I am vetting you to make sure that you are understanding all the variables of success. And then if I feel it's a good fit and you feel it's a good fit, I will offer you an invite to come along with us. If I don't find the people that are qualified, it's not the right time, then I don't let them get in the boat because we can't row the boat in circles. We must go the same direction. So I am making sure that my CEO operators turn out to be people like Daniel and others. Okay. So you'll be asked to complete a DISC assessment profile. If you haven't already done that, that's an assessment of your aptitude, capability, willingness, and strengths and weaknesses, opportunities and threats in business. It's basically an assessment of the ways that I'm looking to profile individuals that meet up with my best operators. You may have already had some experience. You may be in real estate. I have a number of real estate people and brokers. I've got homeschool moms and doctors and dentists and lawyers in here and people who are already doing 12 and 30 million a year on e-commerce. I have every spectrum of individual, but they all fit specific sort of DISC profiles. And why I do that is because I can only train into people that are going to be willing to listen and learn. I can lead a horse to water, but I can't make it drink. So I want to make sure that you guys want to make it drink, okay? Just to be very clear, there is a buy-in fee for 1 year with us. That is a $25K buy-in fee to get into that program should the application be yours. That is a one-time fee for 1 year. It does not get renewed every year. That's not how it works. We do have continuing education programs past 12 months, but it is a 12-month engagement. In that 12 months, if you have no idea what you're going to sell, we're going to help you find it, show you how to get it, show you how to launch it, show you how to grow it, show you how to scale it, and help set you up for year 2 and 3 to become a possible case study, just like the ones you heard earlier. We're going to give you the keys to the kingdom. We're only going to do that if you're willing to come along for the ride, okay? That means you're also going to need to look back again at the deployment of capital, guys, and I'll go back to that just in a second, up here in the 5x5, that is going to, give you an idea of capital deployment into your business, not mine. You're 100% owned in this business. I am consulting and incubating you in my people, processes, and technology so that you have a fair shot in a good amount of time of doing what's taking me 12 years to do in 3 years to 5 years, and do it under my systems and technology and processes so that you can simply get there faster with less trouble and less heartache, and certainly spending less money in the wrong way. Understand 25K should be set aside to deploy because this is a capital intensive business. You need to understand, for example, in $10 million a year businesses we run, when we have a PO that's pushing out $4.5 million every 90 days, we need to put up 15 to 20% of that to churn over the next round of inventory, which means we need to have $1 million to 1.3 million available to fund the next level of inventory to churn over a $10 million a year business. Why am I even saying that at all, Kish? I want you to understand economies of scale with e-commerce. Once you reach a sales velocity inside of Amazon, it is going to, we call it feeding the beast. It is going to want more inventory to propagate to more demand so that you overtake demand of another seller already in the marketplace. And remember, 24/7, 365, that demand is flowing crazy. Some instances, again, 3, 4, 5,000 units a day. And we want to go in there and get as much of that as we can, which means we have to be capable of turning over the inventory. So that is a slightly different economy of scale than, say, deploying a bunch of capital and people and resources for a lot of real estate deals where I'm actually just pouring a lot of money into individual products and inventory, sometimes 40-foot containers, sometimes 540-foot containers. It really depends upon the growth and scale. Coaching plus business in the first year, you're typically going to spend between 50 to 100K in a variable range of business growth. I call it a variable because once the brand is built and the products are determined and the test launches go, okay, from a test launch to a product launch, from 100 units to 1,000 units deployed, when the business says go, you must go with it. That has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with your opportunity. Okay, if any of you ran a service business or have a tech business, if you start increasing your sales and you're running tech guys into the street, you got to get more trucks and more roles. If you are in any business of distribution, economy, product, or inventory, real estate, or e-com, you will also have to deploy capital to product that will move and churn over the inventory. So the question becomes, how long is a piece of string, Kish? It's as long as we need to cut it, right? So the answer to that question is the real opportunity is capitalize inventory that's working faster and faster and faster, and growth will come, okay? My fastest case study, my most unrealistic case study, and I'm going to say it just so you guys can understand the scope of what I'm talking about, is that Matt Harward came in, okay? And in 2015, we showed him exactly our 5x5 process. By 2016, he had done 40 million in sales, okay? He was topping 5 million a month in 18 months. He actually did the first 5 million in 8 months. And then he ran out of inventory, had to go back and do it again. Once he got capitalized at the next round, he went extremely fast. This is a system of scale that most of you can't quite comprehend yet. And it can go extremely fast and can be extremely cool. Now, is the average I'm after 8 figures for everybody or 6 or 7 figures? Really, I'm after everybody's capability to get to 8, but what I want you to understand, if you get to a 6 or high 6-figure business in this, you're in the top 30% of all of Amazon. By the time I get you to 7 or even multi-7, you're in the top 10%. At that point, you are a strong business operator. You should be in the CEO seat now. And we will be mentoring you in the CEO ways, and then we will show you how to open additional channels to move beyond Amazon so that you create a holistic e-commerce company. And by holistic, it means multiple channels of brand and distribution, where you're not just running a single channel, you're now running multiple channels of opportunity. It starts with the first product, it starts with the process, and that's the most detailed part of what I want you to understand. And Kish, I got a little extra thing for everybody. In the strategy that I just explained to you, it is written in this physical book right here called Almost Automated Income with FBA. For anybody paying attention on this call right now who has the ability to actually, some of you may have to email me, then the email is in there, or text that number, Kish 2024, to the 417-695-5479. The first 10 people who text that, we're giving you a free copy of this book. It is be a physical property book, actual physical in your hand, sitting like right back here on my shelf. And it is the strategy that I just explained to you, all right, along with case studies and 15 other people who came on my podcast and talked about all the different aspects of this business in their detailed analysis, tying to my Greenlight 5x5 product launch playbook, okay? And after 12 years of doing this, we got it down pretty good. So those are a free gift, another free gift for you guys, along with the trial today, to take away from today to get the strategy and some of the execution and some of the purpose behind the entire business model, which I have been now speaking directly for 1 hour. I should probably shut up and let you guys have some questions. If you don't get a copy of that book because you weren't one of the 10, then you guys can go over here and grab a $5 copy of it from my funnel, which will get you a book as well. And I'll put my email in there for those of you who might want to email, who cannot text. Go ahead and send that over too. If you got your cell phone right now and you guys want to grab a free copy of that, go ahead and do that. I'll also put this back up. And as mentioned at the beginning of this, we will send this PDF and information out to all of you. And probably, I think, Kish, you send replays to everybody. We'll get an action to that. So if you're listening to this replay, you might have missed the 10 free copies. Sorry. But if you text us, we'll let you know. If you don't, then we will give you the $5 deal if you want a copy of that. It is the strategy that outlines the 5 steps we just talked about today. And of course, if you are serious about wanting to know how we do that, how we work with people and get a few more questions, there is a couple of things when you text that we'll ask you. We're going to have a question and answer session with you. We want to make sure this is a good fit for you as well as for us. As I mentioned, I'm very critical about who gets involved with us at this level. That is a lot to unpack, so I'm going to stop for Q&A because I think there's a few questions I may have or may not have answered, Kish, in the process of this. So I'd love to take some questions now, and if you guys have any, please fire away, everything.
Absolutely. We are over time, but that's okay. We have a couple questions.
If we have a few, okay. I'm sorry, I didn't realize we were over time.
No, no worries, no worries. So there was a question by Sile. Let me see.
Okay.
438. Okay, what is the net profit as a percentage for these FBA businesses?
Yeah, percentage is, again, I think I mentioned this earlier, so I'll just recap the percentage. I may have covered it already, but just to go over it one more time for the question. Again, we look at it as a net number. Of course, it's going to translate to a percentage, but the minimum net of a $12 product, or that has, $12 in net profit, if that's a $35 or a $30 or a $50 product, of course, that percentage is going to change. But the minimum we want to see is the net profit of $12. From there, 24 and 36 and upwards from there are the profitabilities of products that will range in retail price point from $50 to $200, $50 to $200 in retail price point. As you saw, the $180 example for that product, you should understand that was Alex's product. Daniel sells products in the $100 to $150 range. Most all of them are selling over $100. in retail price points to equate to the profitability that allows them to pay themselves, grow the business, order the inventory, pay the marketing, acquire customers, and build a longer pipeline of business. Businesses that fail in 3 to 5 years, which is where most businesses fail, I've used this word too many times, failed to properly assess the profitability of the business from year 1, 2, and 3, and they simply run out of capital and run out of profit opportunities by year 4 and 5, and that's when they crash. If we do this correctly in the right way and the way up, then by year 4 and 5, you're actually in growth mode. You're not in crashing mode. And I want you guys to understand that. Again, that ties back to this example of $12 and $24 in profit and $36 in profit, just to give you an idea of 5 products, not one. It's called the 5 by 5. You don't launch one product. So in the question in regards to how do you fail in this model, you don't test the market with enough products. You marry one product or think you have to do a million things with one product to build an entire business. And that's actually the wrong way. If we launch 5 products into this AI engine, think about it like a funnel, and we let the data engine tell us, remember, we're not smart enough to know the market, we're smart enough to get the competition, 80% of the knowledge, the data, the profitability, the upside potential, no saturation, good competition, huge market potential, okay? When I give the market 5 products, it's simply going to tell me which of those is rising to the top. 1 or 2 of those products will rise to the top. They will organically sell more. They will get better reviews. We've been over the target. Once I determine those 1 or 2 products, I now understand, okay, borrowing a trick from retail. Remember, I didn't tell you this, but my mentor was Kevin Harrington, has been. He sold $6 billion, was one of the original Shark Tanks. We're the only Amazon Shark Tank endorsed business model. He wrote the foreword in my book. And what I learned from him was about taking retail tricks, and we applied it to e-commerce. Okay. And in e-commerce, we then take a product like in retail, and then we just expand it out into more of those products. So once I identify 1 to 2 of those 5 test products that I launched in the market, then I will know which 2 are actually going to scale. Then I put all money, energy, and time into those 2 by spreading them into new variation. I sell more of the same product in different packaging. I widen that base out in my portfolio. It actually becomes easier and easier and faster and faster. And every time I put new products inside, guess what? People want to buy them, because when they wanted the black extra large version of one of those products, then I sold them 10 more different black extra large versions of that product. They say success is boring, and in some cases it can be. And I love this business model because I get to launch all kinds of new products and brands all the time, so I'm never bored. My personality is one in which I got to keep moving and doing. I'll never retire. And with e-commerce, I don't have to, because we keep going. So the risk of failure comes in taking one product and saying, I'm going to make this product work, and then never looking and pivoting with the market. Okay, a giant river that's flowing, and you're standing over here yelling at the river saying, come closer to me. And that's not how this works. You actually got to get in line with the river. When you do, and that river traffic aligns with relevancy from a customer coming to buy in 30 seconds or less, okay, 30 seconds or less in that pipeline, and that relevancy hits, they will demand the products from you. They will come after you faster than you can sell them, and you'll have a new problem, right? And that problem has to be solved by capitalizing the inventory, because now the demand is growing extremely fast. David and Daniel, that I just showed you in those 2, and both, by the way, on my website, on my YouTube, on the High Voltage Business Builders podcast, you can go listen to their own podcast in their own words that they explain how this works. The end result is they capitalize the opportunity of their business, and that risk went down as they capitalized what was working. So the risk in this business isn't the model, it gets down to the operator, which is why I'm looking for a specific kind of operator who has a intrinsic understanding of daily, weekly, monthly operations, who fits more in the S&C category on the DISC assessment, because they understand processes and framework. After they've grasped the strategy, they get to work doing the things that others will not do. And it's a very important mindset that I'm looking for. So am I answering any other questions? I want to make sure we get back to this.
No, I think we're okay. I'm way past time. I do have a hard stop in 2 minutes.
Yep.
Because
Okay.
I have another meeting to attend. But Neil, I just want to say thank you so much for offering to come and speak with us.
My pleasure, man.
A lot more education. There's a lot of, if you haven't texted for the free book, please do that right now. Hopefully you'll be within the first 10. If not, there's the other QR code that you can use. I will be posting all this in the replay. I'll be sending out the YouTube link this weekend with all this information. And reach out to Neil if you want to educate yourself more, just learn. Like he says, it's a vetting process. He needs to see the type of person you are to make sure you fit his criteria for doing this. So it may not be the right time, or it may be the right time. So there's no obligation if you want to reach out directly
Correct.
and just have a conversation. If you want, you can even mention my name because you know me through the club. That works as well. But I know other people have questions. Feel free to reach out to him, or if you want, reach out to
Please
me.
do.
We'll have a conversation, and then we can I can do a intro to Neil as well.
Wonderful. That's very wonderful.
Neil, thanks again, everyone. Thanks for joining the club, joining today, and have a good rest of your afternoon.
Thanks, everybody.
Take care, guys. Bye.